Hey guys, what is going on? Lego Man 123 are back with another video, and welcome back to another tier listing making video, where today in this part 2, I'll be continuing to rank my favorite, the Legend of Korra characters. So without further ado, let's get into it. Next we have General Iroh, and this is a really nice character to see once again, and he can only be seen in the spirit world because after, I believe, the events of Avatar: The Last Airbender and after the comics, he actually did leave his body in the world of Avatar and The Legend of Korra, and then he actually did take his spirit to the spirit world. I really liked how he did actually explain this because he wanted to be with the spirits and be really good friends with them. I really did like that, and to see him in the spirit world guiding Korra was definitely really cool because he also did guide Aang, but I feel like he did guide Korra a lot more than Aang, so it's definitely really cool to actually see more quotes from Iroh. I really did like that, so I might maybe possibly put him maybe in maybe fourth, no, maybe third position in A. Next we have Opal, and this is actually Bowling's girlfriend in, I believe, the season 3, but then after that their sort of relationship becomes a little rocky because Bowling is actually working for Kavira and Patard Jr. I thought she was definitely a really cool character because she does become an airbender just like Kai after harmonic conversions, and then also Boomy does become an airbender. So I thought it was really cool, like the whole sort of harmonic conversions thing did happen and she did become an airbender because this is, I believe, the maybe youngest child of Sue. So that was really cool how she did become an airbender. She's also a really kind character as well. She's also really nice to actually see on different sort of scenes and moments. So I might maybe possibly put her maybe in maybe fourth position. If it's gonna maybe fourth position in B because she is really cold, not cold, but cool as well to actually see because she's definitely really passionate as well as an airbender. Next we have Pili, I believe her name is, and she is a combustion bender, and the best known combustion bender from Avatar: The Last Airbender is Sparky Boom Man, and it was really cool to see another combustion bender, but I'm really interested that it was actually a girl instead of a guy because women can also be as powerful as sort of men, so it's definitely really cool to actually see that a combustion bender was a female. And then the relationship she does have is actually Zahir as a boyfriend, so it was really cool to actually see that, and sometimes a little strange as well. And once again, I feel like she shouldn't be this powerful again with her combustion power because she's been in freezing cold temperatures for a really long time, and she does have a metal sort of part, not, is it stuck, sort of chained around her sort of a third eye, so I feel like she shouldn't be straight away be able to go to combustion bending. I feel like it should have taken a couple of days to get used to doing that power again. But apart from that, she was definitely really cool to see and great to see more sort of combustion explosions. So I might maybe possibly put her in front of the other Red Lotus member. Next we have Pabu. Yeah, I believe that's his name. And this is actually Bowling's really close sort of pet friend, and he's some sort of fire ferret thing. Not 100% sure on what it is, but I believe it is actually a ferret. It was really cool to see this because once again I really liked how the animals weren't dumb and all that. They were actually quite smart, and Pabu could walk across a rope, and I really like that part. And it could definitely easily fend for itself, and it was definitely really cute to see. It kind of did remind me of Momo in a way, so I might maybe possibly put him maybe in second position in C. Next we have Pema, and this is actually Tenzin's wife, and she doesn't have any sort of elemental power. She doesn't have air, fire, and the other two elements. She's just a generic civilian. So it's really interesting how Tenzin actually did get in a relationship with her, but I'm really glad he actually did decide that instead of just sort of getting a relationship with like a firebender or like an earthbender. He actually went for like a sort of civilian, and it was really cool to actually see her actually sort of cope with having to like nurture airbenders and be like around the avatar and all that. And sometimes in scene she would give like some really good sort of information quotes, and it was really cool to actually see that, and definitely a really nice mother to like Korra as well. And like if she ever needs help, Pema would be there for Korra and like pretty much anyone else in Team Avatar. So it was really cool to see that. So I might maybe possibly put her maybe in maybe there in B. Next we have, I've actually really forgotten this guy's name. I think he's just like one of those announcers at like the Republic sort of city park. Like he's sort of giving word about the sort of resistance, Mont, and like the Equalers. I don't think he really has a big role in it. He's like one of those sort of speakers would explain stuff about like the whole sort of stuff what does happen. He's definitely a really rude character because I feel like he just does this to get like respect from others, because it was really sad to actually see that happen to this guy, because I feel like he only just does it for like attention and all that, because I feel like he isn't actually in like the sort of resistance and all that. I feel like he just does it for like his own sort of entertainment in a way, but that is just completely my opinion. But I might maybe possibly put him in D, because he is definitely really judgmental towards like Korra and all that, because like straight away he's like, oh, you're the Avatar and all that type of stuff. So really sad to see that. Next we have Rava, and this is actually the sort of spirit inside of each of the avatars, and that is what does continue the avatar life cycle. And Rava is the light spirit, and it was really cool and really enjoyable to get like a history on Rava, who is the light spirit, and then Vatu, who's the dark spirit, and like the whole history they do have together. Rava was definitely really cool to actually see, because, as I did say, she's like the person who does like continue, well, not person, but spirit who does continue the avatar cycle. And I really liked how she was sort of angry at one for actually sort of splitting her and Vatu apart, because like they had a battle, I believe, every 100,000 years to decide the fate of the world. And like at first she was angry, but then they did grow to be really nice friends to one another. And like Rava did like teach one a bunch of stuff, like how to control each element, like go inside of his body to actually have the avatar state. So I might maybe possibly put her in first position in B. Next we have Unalaq, who is actually Korra's uncle and then brother, I believe oldest brother to Korra's father. It's really interesting to actually see the relationship they actually do have as brothers, Korra's father and Unalaq, because they definitely do have a pretty like rocky relationship, or like watery relationship, no pun intended. But I feel like the relationship really does sort of have an effect on Korra, because like she does try to actually have a good relationship with her uncle, because I believe this is like the first time in maybe like a couple of years, because like she hadn't seen her uncle, I believe, in like a couple of years, or she had never seen her uncle. So to actually see her have a nice relationship with her uncle was definitely really cool. But Unalaq is definitely a really interesting character, because he does have a really sort of mysterious and tricky side to him, because he did make up like a whole lie to like the sort of northern water tribe about his brother being like the true sort of villain, about the spirits attacking the southern water tribe, and like how the spirits are like angry and all that, but the true villain was actually Unalaq. And then his plan to actually set free Vatu was definitely something pretty evil. Like that's even more evil than Unalaq, no pun intended. So I might maybe possibly put him maybe in maybe in that position there, because I feel like he should have been a lot more better as a father to his son and daughter, because I feel like he just like rejects them and all that. So I feel like he should have been a little more there for his daughter and son, because I feel like his passion and ambition to like set free trick Korra into doing something what she thinks is right, I feel like that all clouds his like true sort of gift in life, his two children. Next we have Vaatu, and this is the spirit of like bad chaos, like destruction and all that. It was definitely really cool to actually get two spirits of both good and bad, and to actually see the struggle they actually do have towards one another, like the fight they have every 1,000 years or like 10,000 years to decide the fate of the world, was definitely really cool to learn that. To actually see Vaatu actually sort of succeed in a way during like the events of the beginnings part 1 and part 2, because he actually does get set free by 1, and like he can very easily like manipulate people into doing like chaos and all that, because he can sort of fly over spirits, and like he sort of can manipulate them into like turning into like sort of spooky and evil spirits. That was interesting to see, but pretty scary at the same time. But it was definitely really interesting to have a dark spirit. So I might maybe possibly put Vaatu maybe in C. Yeah, I think that's a good position there. I think I might possibly move him maybe in. No, I think C in first position was a good position. Next we have Varric, and this guy was definitely interesting to see, because he was definitely a reminder to me as like a version of Sokka, because like sometimes he might be serious, but then sometimes he might be funny. So I really thought that was definitely interesting. But I feel like because he is like he's like a really rich guy, I feel like he kind of uses the wealth and like the power he does have to actually sort of make fun of other people in a way, if that does make sense. So it was quite interesting to see that. And then I feel like he just like uses Julie, I believe her name is, or like Zul, not 100% sure on like how you actually do pronounce it, but I feel like he just uses her for like sort of transportation and all that. Like he really doesn't want to know too much. It's like her sort of it's his personal slave, which I feel like Julie doesn't want to actually be that. But then Varric was definitely really interesting, because in season 1, I don't think we see him in season 1, but in season 2, he's actually like a really rich guy, and he's on like this sort of civil war between the northern and southern, and I believe he's fighting for the southern water tribe. And then in Republic City, he actually does steal Asami's like builds of like these robotic things to actually help in the civil war, but then he has this whole sort of scheme and idea to actually cover his sort of true identity and actually frame Marco. So definitely really interesting character. But then during the battle between Korra and Unalaq, who is basically controlled by Vaatu, like spirits sort of spirit vines come out and like destroy the jail, and then Julie and Varric actually do get away, and then they actually do become good, and I believe that in season 3 they actually do help them, but I'm not 100% sure they help Team Avatar. But then in season 4 he does join Kavira and Patar Jr. and help them like create a very big weapon, like even more stronger than a combustion bender, like a spirit sort of gun, and like it makes this really big sound. So definitely a lot does happen to this character. Like he's good and then he's bad, and then like he's good and then he's bad. Please, Varric, just choose a side and stick to it. But apart from that, I really did enjoy this character and watching him. So I might maybe possibly put him maybe in last position, or maybe third last position in B. Next we have like a sort of gangster, or like a member of like a mafia in Republic City, and Yes, you heard right. There's like a sort of massive sort of mafia gang in Republic City. Definitely really serious. But I thought it was interesting how they actually did have this sort of idea of like a sort of gangster gang and all that in Republic City. And I believe this is like one of the leaders, and I can't remember, but I swear we actually do see him when Korra actually does go to Republic City for the first time. This guy was definitely interesting to see because I feel like he was like all tough and all that against Korra because like she was a girl, and like he felt like, oh, I could easily beat you because like you're the girl, and no one knew in Republic City at the moment that she was the Avatar. She was sort of keeping it to herself and all that. And then he does get his sort of butt kicked by Korra. And then I feel like we do see him in other episodes, but I'm not 100% sure, and other seasons. But apart from that, I thought this was an interesting character because I feel like he works for people who like are the highest bidder. So say, I believe he was working for Marco and Asami because like they were the highest bidder, but then they actually got outbidded, and then the Mafia member actually worked for Varric, so definitely really interesting there, but that may be like 100% wrong, so I might maybe possibly put him maybe in D, no, maybe in last, no, I think D's a good position. Next we have Juan, and I really do enjoy this character because they have his whole basically like life story from like being like pretty much like nothing, like he fends for himself, he fights for himself in like this sort of city in a way. I'm not 100% sure on the exact city, but he actually does have this really cool story in two parts, which I'm really glad they do because I feel like if they were to do it in like one part, it would just be like really rushed and all that. So I'm really glad these writers took the time to actually write his whole story into two parts. But I might possibly put him maybe in maybe in A. I'm kind of thinking of doing that. I might maybe put him in like second position in B because I feel like his story was definitely really inspirational. It was definitely really sad as well because at first I feel like I felt like he was gonna lose like everything because his friends and like brother actually do get killed by these sort of I cannot speak oh my gosh, I'm so sorry guys. But like these dark spirits like from Vatu flying over them actually did kill his friends and like brother, but then he does have some really good relationship with spirits when they're good. So really nice story about like him being ambitious and all that type of stuff, but like the good ambitious, being very passionate to help the rest of the world, like not end up in chaos and all that. And then him being like on a battlefield as an old man was definitely really sad to see that. Like his sort of dream and passion to help the world sort of ended there. Next we have Yakone, and this is actually the father of Tarlok and Noatak. And before he like changed his whole identity, like got sort of plastic surgery on his face to actually change his appearance, he actually was like the sort of crime boss and like a really big member of like a gang in Republic City, and a lot of people actually did fear him. So it was really interesting to actually learn about him as like a person being a pretty skilled waterbender. Like he did say while talking to Noatak and Tarlok that his family of like bloodbenders was like the strongest sort of bloodbenders ever. I believe it was something along the lines of that. And he actually does say that like the Avatar and all that actually do fear them. So definitely really interesting to, but also pretty scary to actually learn about that. But I feel like Noatak is definitely a really strict father because while Noatak and Tarlok are actually like unlocking their ability to bloodbend and waterbend, I feel like their father was definitely really strict and pretty like serious to get them in like tip top shape and like be the best of the best because he wanted them to be like a spitting image of him, like people to fear them and all that. And I thought it was definitely really sad how he was actually teaching his kids to be the same as him, like show like sort of no mercy in a way, like show them the sort of who's the real sort of boss and all that type of stuff. So definitely really sort of scary stuff there, but also really interesting. But he was definitely a really bad father, but not as bad as I was about to say Sozin, but Ozai. So, but I might maybe possibly put him maybe in first position in D. Next we have, honestly, I've totally forgotten this guy's name. I'm just gonna remember him as like Two-Face or like Tree Guy. Honestly, I don't really like that guy. I feel like he didn't need to be in the beginnings part 1, and I think he's only just in part 1 because when one actually does meet up with his friend or brother, the guy's actually dead. So that was sad, but I feel like he didn't really need to be in it because like he was in it for like a split second, being like afraid of like the spirits and like the outside world. So I feel like there was really no point introducing him. But now we move on to Zahir. I'm putting him straight up in maybe that position in A, because he was definitely a really passionate villain. Like his ambition was definitely there, and he also did achieve something pretty like serious. Like he did poison the Avatar and change her both physically and mentally for a really long time. It just didn't like happen like just she didn't recover like straight away. She actually went through this for like a really long time. And Zahir definitely is an interesting character because he is like, I believe he's the leader or like the sort of in command of the Red Lotus, which is a sort of organization to actually stop the Avatar and like have the Avatar cycle no more, and to actually see Zahir almost complete this goal was definitely really sort of scary to actually see that the Avatar maybe like no more, but then he actually does fail and like he does get locked up. And also with him and with the other Red Lotus members, as I did say, I really wish like he actually didn't be as good as he was like as soon as he broke out, because during harmonic conversions he actually did get airbending because he felt like it was like a cooling, and like he felt like it was the time to actually like act upon something, and like just straight away boom, he can just airbend really skillfully. Like he can, I felt like he backflipped, like he airbend some really cool stuff. I just really wish like he struggled at first, because just like straight away he could just like airbend like straight away. Like he had like no struggle. I feel like if he struggled like a bit, like if he shot out maybe like sort of tiny bits of air, but then like he sort of trained upon that, I feel like it would have been really cool to see that. But like just straight away he's just perfect at it. I really felt like they should have not rushed that part and maybe had a couple of days of like the different episodes just showing like I was about to say Mon, but Zahir like training to be an earthbender, and like he's been stuck in like a not a small but like a medium sized sort of jail part. Like I don't think you could really do a lot of stuff in there apart from like meditating. He is also really spiritual as like a non airbender, so it was really cool to see that, and he knows a lot about it. Like Guru Patik, believe that's the name of that person. Like he was really cool to actually once again here, because that's the guru Aang actually gets help from to unlock his chakras, and Zahir is definitely a really big follower of him, so it was really cool to actually hear about him and like how he actually did unlock flight, and then Zahir actually doing that was pretty incredible to actually see that airbenders can become like sort of flies and all that. Next we have Julie, and I'm just gonna put her straight down, maybe in that position there, because she's like basically like the slave and servant of Varric. Like she basically does whatever he wants, and like if he says do the thing, Julie, she'll do it. And then in season 4, I believe like the final episode, like she finally speaks up and actually says her true feelings for Varric, and like basically saying, I think it was, I don't want to be your assistant anymore, something along the lines of that. I feel like she could have said that like way more sooner, because like she was just being bossed around by Varric, basically saying, do the thing, Julie, do the thing, Julie. I kind of wish she said it like way, like even in like say season 3, just like way before like the final episode, even like during season 4, she could have definitely said it during there. But I really liked how she actually sort of tricked her way into still being in the sort of resistance in a way of Kavira, or no, like the sort of Earth Empire army of Kavira and Batar Jr. Like, she sort of tricked her way into actually doing that, because she didn't want to work with Varric anymore, and she actually did trick Varric, because Varric and Bolin actually thought she was serious about that, but then we learned that it was basically a trick, so she could actually sort of like hijack and like sort of make Kavira's sort of plan fail and all that. So definitely really interesting. Next we have, honestly, I just keep forgetting people's names. I feel like this guy is like the owner of the Pro Bending League. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm just gonna possibly put him in that position there, because I believe he's the first person who Amon actually demonstrated his power of bloodbending, which no one actually knew about, because he lied about having like no powers, and like 5 minutes taking away like his family. And Amon actually uses his bloodbending somehow, which was really cool, to actually take away abilities and like bending from people. So that was definitely interesting to see that. Then we have Zuko, and I'm putting him straight up, maybe in that, position. Yeah, I think that's it. No, I might move him up. I really liked how we got to see Zuko again. It was such great news to actually see him. Well, great news. What am I talking about? It was just awesome seeing him again. And I really liked how he was Korra's advisor just as much as he was as Aang's advisor, because we actually see Zuko and Korra have this really nice conversation to one another, and then Zuko actually being like the sort of leader of the White Lotus, or like, yeah, I believe he's like the leader of like saying we have to protect the Avatar, because like the Red Lotus are after her. Him facing the Red Lotus was definitely really awesome to see, because like we can still definitely tell he could kick butt at the age he is at. But it was definitely sad when he actually did get beaten, because like Zahir and the other Red Lotus members are really skillful just after they pretty much all escaped. But I feel like Zuko, if they were like, I feel like Zuko could have very easily beaten them, because like Zahir and the Red Lotus shouldn't have been like that powerful after only being out of like say jail for like, I think it was like a day or so. I'm not 100% sure, but apart from that, I really did enjoy Zuko. So I thought I would come back and do a couple of changes. So I might move Rava down into C, and then I might move the sort of like second in command of the sort of resistance in C, and then I might move like the other Red Lotus members into C as well, and then I might move the sort of Lima guy maybe into maybe that position there, maybe. Yeah, I think that's it. Maybe I might move him down if it's gonna. There we go. And then I might move. I might move Tenzin and Pema's children up, maybe there, and then there. That really didn't do. I might move them up just one more. There we go. And then I might move Boomy maybe up to about there. Yeah, I think that's a good position. And then I might move Tarlock down, maybe Bolin up to about there. And then I might move maybe Kavira. Yeah, I might move her like down maybe quite a bit, maybe. No, I don't want to like maybe pass. I think that might. Yeah, and then maybe move not Aang, but Tenzin's children into that position, and then like that maybe. Maybe Kavira should go up maybe a little more. No, I think she's in a good position there. And then maybe come back down here. And then I might move Sako down into first position in D, because he was definitely a letdown in The Legend of Korra with only like one scene. And then I feel like maybe move him down. I might move him down maybe in that position. And then like Yukon into second. And then the Cabbage Man, maybe in, maybe down, maybe in there, because he was once again a letdown in The Legend of Korra. And then I feel like that might be my final results. I hope you guys did enjoy this second part on ranking my favorite The Legend of Korra characters, because I really did enjoy sharing my thoughts and opinions. Now, I just want to quickly thank you guys so much for all the support on both of these parts. It really does mean a lot, because I definitely know these were quite lengthy videos, and it just really means a lot that you guys actually did watch it and comment on it. So, as always, guys, hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I can see you soon. Goodbye!